USCFootball.com, I'm Keely Eure here with Shotgun Spratling for instant analysis of USC's Wednesday practice of what would be Cal Week. It's kind of a reset at this point. It was an hour-long practice. The team didn't wear pads. So, Shotgun, what did you see in practice today?
I think the most important thing to note is the injuries. USC's pretty banged up right now, so this kind of extra bye week that they're getting doesn't come at a terrible time for them. As far as, Keaton Slovis didn't practice yesterday, didn't practice today. He's in a knee sleeve. We've seen some other guys be out, probably down to 45-ish scholarship players, if I was guessing, just as far as a number of guys that were full go today. Obviously, there's a lot of walkthrough, a lot of scout team work and stuff like that. But they did get a couple of their backup offensive linemen back, but Liam Jimmons is still out. We did see Cortland Ford come back yesterday, so that's a big note for him. Though he was with the second team at left tackle, so that was kind of interesting that he does come back from the injury, but now he's with the second team. Mm-hmm. So we'll see where the offensive line kind of shakes out as they progress. Getting ready for UCLA. Looking at it, I think that was the big thing, though, is just seeing where some of the injuries were, because there wasn't too much else to take away from practice. The players are kind of resetting. They were ready to come out yesterday and practice. Ben Griffith said he was already on the practice field, and the specialists, they got called back in to the locker room, and the other players, the offensive and defensive players, were in meetings and said, "You're not playing this weekend." So, I think the plan for them now is to heal up and get ready for UCLA, put some extra time into preparing for arrival, similar to what they were able to do against Notre Dame earlier this season.
As Shotgun just alluded to, we were able to talk to some players today. It was like captains, light pseudo-captains. It was Ben Griffiths, Isaiah Polomau, Chris Steele, and Keontae Ingram. It was interesting. We kind of started veering off into actual health injury questions for Keontae, so it wasn't all Cal related. But what did you take away from that limited media availability?
One of the things that I asked was, do they want to play in a bowl game? What would it mean to play in a bowl game? And, Ben Griffiths and Isaiah Polomau both said, yes, we definitely want to play in a bowl game. That's everything to them right now. So that's what they're really playing for. And Ben Griffiths, I thought it was interesting. He said they want to earn it. So they're happy to see that the game against Cal is being rescheduled, so they don't get the automatic win. They want to earn it. That's what playing in a bowl game is about. So that's their goals right now. So they're focusing on that. And then the questions for Keontae Ingram obviously centered around his health. Obviously, he got banged up in the game, played only a handful of snaps in the fourth quarter. Had an ankle injury. He had an ankle injury earlier in the season, and it took him a little while to come back from it. So we'll see where he gets to next week going into that UCLA game. But he was also asked about the stacked boxes he was seeing from Arizona State, and he said that was definitely different than what they had seen earlier in the season with Drake London in the offense. He said there was an extra hat there, whether it was a linebacker or a safety, the entire time. So that's something they're going to have to prepare for going forward, because I think they'll see the same thing pretty much from the rest of the teams that they face on their schedule.
Mm-hmm. Shotgun, this might be the shortest instant analysis in history. I mean, any final thoughts before we wrap it up? It's going to be an interesting schedule going forward. Like Shotgun said, it's basically a second bye week, so we won't be back until Tuesday to see the team practice. Dante Williams' normal Thursday morning presser and Saturday night presser are canceled, so Tuesday's kind of it for us. We're going to then.
Yeah, it's going to be a week, so it's going to be, a week is a long time in a college football season. A lot can change in a week, so we'll see where they are health-wise when they come back. I think that's going to be the big goal for them, through this next 6 days, is to try to get as many guys healthy as they can, try to get as many starters back as they can, because they've been banged up a little bit there. And we'll see where some of those defensive rotations are next week, because we have seen some of the young safeties have been getting some first-team reps this week. We saw Kalen Bullock start last week, but he was paired with Chase Williams, and then when Xavier Alford came into the game, he came in with Isaiah Polomau, so it was interesting, kind of a young guy, old guy combination. But now it was the two younger guys that were there along with Greg Johnson. So we'll see where those safeties are at. We'll see who's kind of back in full health. We've seen Ishmael Sopsher, we've seen Jamar Sakona, getting some scout team work today. So maybe the defensive line gets some health. Is Nick Figueroa back? That was a group that's been very limited as far as their depth the last couple weeks. So it'd be really big for them to get some of those big bodies back and be healthy for that last stretch run of 3 games. And the last and maybe most important thing to come out of yesterday was USC basketball got off to a 1-0 start. So I want to throw that in there. Great debut for this year's team, and for Boogie Ellis, the Memphis transfer, 20 points on 9 of 11 shooting. So throw a little basketball.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm about to pull an audible here. What did you take away from last night's win for the Trojans?
Just the fact that there's a lot of new faces, and everyone got an opportunity to get out there and get some experience, all the freshmen and Boogie as well. But a ton of experience on this team, and seeing Chavez Goodwin and seeing the development of some of the younger guys. Drew Peterson, a nice step back jumper he's added to his game. Boubacar Coulibaly, 7.6 rebounds. A lot of young guys, showing that they've really made some improvements in their game. So it was fun to see that team back out there and see that, I know some people are going to be upset. They got Elite Eight rings before the game. There was a little pregame ceremony, and Boogie Ellis said, "Yeah, that's motivation for me because I want to, to be able to, push this team even further and go even farther in the tournament this year." So we'll see what they can do. They got a really big road trip coming up where they're going to go to Temple, first road game of the season, a team that they played a couple years ago and lost to at home. So this, kind of a little bit of a barometer early in the season to see where they're at, and then they'll actually go on Tuesday, I believe it is. They'll go to Florida Gulf Coast, where Andy Enfield obviously made his mark on the NCAA tournament. So he's going to return. It's kind of a homecoming game there, so that one should be a little bit fun too.
From football injuries to basketball stats, Shadi, what can't you do? Well, that's going to wrap it up for USC's Wednesday practice of football. For Shotgun Spratling, I'm Keely Eure. For more, check out uscfootball.com.